Hi, this is Lauren Hines with Craft Some Joy. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have a very simple two-page layout using the Setup Camp collection from Creative Memories. This is a four-piece collection that I have all organized in my Power Project folder, and it includes paper, stickers, embellishments, and a mat pack. I'm also going to be pulling in some neutral layering shapes from my Scrap Some Joy shop, and I'll have everything that I'm using in this video linked in the description box below. The inspiration for these layouts came from the Creative Memories blog, and what I loved about this layout was that it had a couple different areas of embellishment clusters. So what I wanted to do was incorporate those ideas into a two-page layout. As usual, I have a lot of photos for my layouts. So what I needed to do was figure out how I can get all these photographs on my pages, but still have some fun with the embellishments and layers from the Setup Camp collection. So to get a feel for placing what goes where, I'm pulling some of my favorite pieces from this collection, including this striped paper with all the different colors. I think that will be perfect for creating this title cluster on my left-hand side page. So now I'm just going to pull in a few pieces that I think will go with that cluster and then add in the journaling box to my right-hand side. Now I found this mat card that says the best days are spent outside, and I feel like that's a perfect thing to put in my title cluster. So I've just cut that down so that it works perfectly with my layering shape, and now I've got some great elements for that little title area. Next, I'm going to just grab some of the plaid paper with all the colors and cut a 5-inch strip from this paper so that it will go on the right-hand side of the page and bring across those colors that I started on the left-hand side. So this works perfectly with the pictures that I've already cut down and included a mat for. So I'm just laying those on top of that 5-inch strip. This is one of those things that makes it very easy to complete a layout, is when you use blocks of color and blocks of cardstock to kind of give a home for your photos. So next I just want to add a few more details to the journaling box and to some different locations on my pages. So I found some leaf stickers which were perfect for this layout, and I decided to add some foam tape to give that a little bit of dimension and include that in the cluster and journaling box area on the right hand side of the page. I feel like it needs a few more details, and so does this little cluster that I'm working on at the bottom of the page. So I'm just going to make some decisions about where and the placement of all these different pieces. I know that I really like the title and that it fits perfectly on this layering shape. So I'm going to go ahead and include that and just add a fun little leaf to the bottom of that, and then decide what other pieces I'd like to cluster around this title. So I have this fun little raccoon, which I adore from this collection. And then the camera to me was a perfect inclusion as well, but it does need a little bit of dimension. So I'm just going to add some foam tape to the camera, let that pop up, and now I've got some good layers going on. I came back to the photos of Audrey and realized that I really just needed a little bit more definition between her photos and the pink paper. So I decided to grab some cream colored cardstock and just do a very thin 1/8 inch reveal for a mat for those photos. And I did put them together on the same piece of cardstock and then just cut one mat for both of those photos. This is another time-saving trick that I like to do, and it works really well when you have photos that you're grouping together, and then you can just keep one neutral background for both of those photos. And to me now, just that little bit of extra dimension works well with her photos. I'm happy with this, so I'm going to go ahead and put this block down on my page. And you can see that just adding these layers of colors paper and photos makes a layout come together very, very quickly. Once I have that in place, I'm just going to go ahead and adhere down the other photos to the base page for this layout. Now it's time to work on that title cluster. So I'm going to go ahead and put that striped paper down into place so that I have a home for these different elements that I want to keep in this title cluster. So I have the sentiment that I cut out from the map pack. I have my camera, which I have on foam squares, and I have this cute little raccoon. And that's a great start to that title cluster. So I'm just going to go over to the right hand side and get my other photos stuck down onto the plaid paper just to put those into place and get them secured on the layout. Once I have those in place, I feel like this little cluster on the bottom needs attention. So I found a fun pink arrow just to tie in some of the pink colors going on in this layout. And I put that up on a little piece of foam tape. Then I'm just adding in a few other little stickers, a leaf, a flower, and then the word that says adventure. So now that cluster has kind of come together and looks good as a grounding piece for the bottom of my page. I'm just going to add in my last photo here to the top of the right hand side, which I just love. It's Ellen and Adam having so much fun in the huge pile of leaves in our backyard. So now I just want to finish off this journaling box cluster. I went back to the stickers and found a companion for my little raccoon, which is on the left-hand side of the page, and put him on the journal box right next to the cluster of leaves, which I have up on foam tape. I love how that little strip of patterned paper just gives a pop of color to the journaling box. Going back to the photos of Audrey, I realized that I need to do another dive into my layering shapes just to add that same color and element into this area on my layout. I chose a really small little banner piece, and it works perfectly because it's not overstated and it just adds that touch of color that I have in other areas on these layouts. The little epoxy stickers from this collection are some of my favorites. So I grabbed those, found a pink flower, which was perfect for the little layering shape, and then added another cluster above the photos of Audrey. And you know, I love my groups of odd numbers, so I ended up putting 2 dots and yet another little epoxy flower. So now I'm just coming back around to my title cluster, and I feel like I just need a few more details to kind of complete that title area. So I found a pink little kind of star flash looking sticker, and I thought that would be perfect, again tying the pink back into the title cluster and then adding in my camera that is up on foam squares. One last finishing touch is to put another enamel arrow, so bringing that texture of the enamel over into the title cluster. So of course the finishing touches are to get the story down on my page. So I've brought in my journaling kit. I love having all my pens in this pod from Creative Memories. Just grabbing my black fine tip pen. Even though there's a lot of brown in this layout, I decided to go ahead and use black for my journaling. It's one of my favorites. I'm just adding the date to the little layering shape on the left-hand side. And then I'm going to go ahead and tell the story of this day on the right-hand side. And I love these photos of the kids playing in the backyard. And what I'm writing is that one of the things we used to do when they were growing up is tell our gardeners to just not pick up the leaves for a couple weeks, just to give them a big opportunity to make piles and piles of leaves to play and jump in. I love the fact that we can just use Mother Nature as some fun and free entertainment for the kids. So once I have my story down, I'm just going to tuck that journaling box in and voila, my 2 pages are done. I'd love to hear if you enjoyed this simple back to basics layout. And if you're looking for more inspiration, you can check out these videos here on my channel. Thanks for watching, and to get notified of more videos, be sure to hit the subscribe button and ring the bell. And until next time, I hope you take time to craft some joy. Bye for now.